I just got to drive one of the most anticipated electric cars for 2021, the Ford Mustang Mach-E, on the closed course and on the roads of the beautiful Malibu, California. And since I discovered that shopping for an electric car is very much like dating, let's see if myself or you guys watching will make a love connection with this EV. From physical attraction and chemistry to deal breakers and secret admirers. Me and my fancy tie are ready to charm, so let's get going right now. Ooh, welcome to E4 Electric, your #1 source of electric car scoop. If you are interested in everything that's going on in the world of electric cars, go ahead and click on that subscribe button in the matching red and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. Now, I just want to mention that this car comes in so many different options and variations, so I'm just going to give you the top and bottom variations of the specs that we're talking about. Most of them will be out in the beginning of 2021, but the most powerful version, the GT, will be out at the end of this summer. Now, my friends tell me that it's what's on the inside that matters, but I think they're just trying to tell me I am short and I'm losing hair. Bottom line is the physical attraction is important, and when it comes to the Mustang Mach-E, I have to say that this is one of the better looking crossovers that I have seen in person, gas or electric. I think it looks great from the front, from the back, and from the side, which is pretty rare. It has a slick front with aggressive headlights, the classic Mustang back refreshed with the modern touch with a classy thin line piercing through the Mustang tri-bar taillights. I absolutely love the blue color, though it does look great in other colors as well. Many people came up to us asking about the car while we were filming, and some took pictures as we were passing them by on the freeway, though some took it to a bit of an extreme to take a closer look. I'm not crazy about the door handles, I have to be honest with you. You kind of push on a button and grab this little piece of plastic, but check out that frunk. Essentially, it's a cooler that can be drained and it has cup holders. I mean, have you ever thought we'd see cup holders under the hood? Now, you could be using this as a sink to wash your shoes or bathe your dog. I mean, let me know in the comment section, what would you use a drainable frunk for? Now, one thing you see it in pictures or videos, but it's a whole different story when you actually see it in person. You look into each other's front-facing cameras and you wonder, is there electricity? Is there chemistry? The Mustang Mach-E has plenty of that with two options for the battery, 68 and 88 kilowatt hour with 10% buffer. The battery cells are supplied by LG Chem. That gets you, depending on the model, anywhere from 210 and all the way to 300 EPA rated miles. For the fast DC charging, you have two options, 115 and 150 kilowatts. And for the level 2 at-home charging, the rate is up to 11 kilowatts. My ex-girlfriend told me that I never listened to her, or something like that. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. I was filming my YouTube video, but I think her point was that communication is important. And the Mustang Mach-E has quite a few different ways how it communicates with you. Obviously, the main one is the screen, 15.5-inch screen in the middle and a small instrumental panel right behind the steering wheel. It will learn your preferences with time. It has an option to do the over-the-air updates, and it has 10 speakers. And it can even fake it for you. And I'm not even kidding. It can fake the gas engine noise in case if you want to hear it when you accelerate. It has the wireless Apple CarPlay Android Auto capabilities. You can open it with your phone, so your phone is essentially your car keys, or you can use a keypad code, just like with a save. It also has voice commands capabilities, but I gotta say, I wasn't that impressed. Speaking of good communication, well, there's something that I wanted to share with you guys, so here it goes. You see, this video and this channel is sponsored by XPeng Motors, China's leading smart EV automaker that just announced its new autonomous driving architecture using the LiDAR. For more, follow XPeng Motors on Facebook using the link in the description of this video. And by NeoCharge, already have a 240 outlet but want to charge 2 electric cars or maybe split it between a car and an appliance without spending tons of money on an electrician? Well, check out the NeoCharge, your plug-and-play solution. Get one today and use the discount code in the description of this video. I'm glad I got it off my chest. Now, there are so many wonderful ways how your significant other can take your breath away, but nothing more romantic and powerful like launching you all the way to 60 miles an hour from a standstill. In the Mustang Mach-E GT edition will definitely take your breath away with 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds with 480 horsepower. The entry model has 266 horsepower and does 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds, and the rest of them are in between. I got to drive this car on the streets, on the freeway, but also on a closed course where I really got to push it, and I genuinely tried to make it slide off of the track, but it never lost control. It was very much a solid drive. Very impressive. It has 3 different modes depending on how you want this car to drive: the Whisper, the Engage, and the Unbridled. Now, obviously, Unbridled is how I drove my car throughout the entire trip, and I absolutely loved it. When it comes to true love, putting you and I together is a journey, and Ford's UI developers were up to the task. I have to say, this is one of the better user interfaces that I have seen. They have done an excellent job, though some of the features still need some work. The vertical UI has 3 sections. The first one is the main plane. The second one is the shortcuts to the recently used features, and the main controls on the bottom, plus the physical knob that is essentially stuck to the screen. The best part of this interface is the recently used tiles that are customized for you, and of course the knob that's right now only controlling the volume, but in the future will control a lot of different things. I've even heard maybe you can play games and that would be the controller, though it does feel a little bit cheap. Now, there are a couple of negatives that I hope they correct in the future. First of all, the tiles, pretty much the best part of the UI, disappear once you enter the profile or settings mode, and also there is no time to destination when you are using the navigation system. Essentially, you have to do your own math, but the 2 numbers that you need, the current time and the time of the arrival, are literally on the opposite sides of the screen. The interface has tons of different settings, so you can really customize everything for your own liking. Also, you can play footsie with the car to open the trunk, the feature that I really like, and it's got its own app where you can cool or heat the cabin before getting to the car. It can precondition the car, or it can actually plan your trip. Now that we got to know the Mustang Mach-E on a more intimate level, it's time to talk about the commitment. It has a 3-year, 36,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. The electric vehicle components are covered for 8 years or 100,000 miles with the retention of 70% or more of the original battery capacity. You get the roadside assistance for 5 years or 60,000 miles. They also have a deal with Electrify America for 250 kilowatt hour free charging, which is essentially about 4 full charges. With the Ford Pass, there is a charging network with over 13,000 charging stations, and in some cases the negotiated rates and trip planning. Of course, Ford has over 3,000 dealers, most with service centers, though I'm not sure how many of them will be able to work on this car right away. No matter how perfect you may seem for each other in the beginning, there will always be things that will come up that you just won't be able to stand about the other, the deal breakers. For some, it's the addiction to gasoline. For others, it's the younger, prettier electric car that you've been seeing on weekends. For me, it's the driver assist features. I should probably not call them deal breakers in this case because you don't have to get that option, but I gotta tell you, I wouldn't because these features kind of made me nervous when I tried to initiate them. They kind of ping-ponged me within my lane and then canceled for no reason in the middle of my drive. So at some point, I just stopped. Now, the good news, they are updatable, so hopefully Ford will make them better over time. Now, another thing that I didn't really like was the steering wheel. It's such a modern car with a steering wheel from the times before the iPhone. It just kind of doesn't match. Another thing that I wasn't too crazy about was the screen. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the fact that it's a large vertical touchscreen, but it was facing directly towards the cabin and not really towards me, so parts of the screen weren't as easy to access with, my short hands. And the last thing that I would change about this car are the door handles. Now, I know they've updated the design from about a year ago when they've launched this car, but still, they just don't match the beautiful exterior. Essentially, they look like a coat hangers in an airplane's bathroom. Now, I know you are a hot commodity. I know you have other choices. Others are competing for your attention, but who are these secret admirers who wouldn't mind sliding into your DMs ahead of Ford? Now, the competition is kind of divided into two categories, the electric crossovers and the gas crossovers. For the gas competition, and obviously it's a much larger market, we've got the Toyota RAV4, the Honda CR-V, Nissan Rogue, and many others, but this is exactly the part of the market where the Mustang Mach-E can actually have a lot of success. And for the electric competition, of course, we've got the Tesla Model Y, that would be more of a competitor for the GT version, the Volkswagen ID4, that would be a competitor for the lower end version of the Mustang Mach-E, and maybe the upcoming Nissan Ariya. Now that you got to know the Mustang Mach-E on a much deeper level and maybe even develop some feelings, it's time to let Ford Motors know what are your intentions with their daughter. Are you gonna put a ring on it? Are you ready to sign on that dotted line? Well, if you are, you'd be getting the best one in the family. I truly believe this is the best Ford vehicle that we have seen in a long time. This is a great Ford value. It will start just under $44,000 and go all the way up to $61,600 for the top of the line GT, and obviously that's before the $7,500 tax credit and other local credits, essentially making the starting price in mid-30s. And that's not bad at all, and after the incentives, the top model will go for about $55,000, and that's not too crazy either. Now that you know everything about the Mustang Mach-E, let me know if we were able to make the love connection. Put that in the comment section of this video, and if not, I have someone else to introduce you to. It is also a highly anticipated all-electric crossover coming in 2021, and I'm talking about the Volkswagen ID4. So check out that review. I put that link in the description of this video, and if you're watching me on YouTube, it will be right there in that corner. Looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.